Today, we're going to talk about a champion's journey, a fighter who came from one of the toughest places on earth to conquer the very top of mixed martial arts. This is the path of Islam Makhachev.
So, that really gets you thinking, right? How does that even happen? Is it just raw talent? Is it sheer dedication? Or is it something deeper, something forged in the very land you come from? Okay, let's dive into this and trace this incredible journey right from the very beginning. To understand the fighter, you first have to understand the place. A place where fighting isn't just a sport, it's a way of life.
Okay, so this is where it all starts, Makhachev in the Republic of Dagestan. This region in Russia is legendary for its martial arts tradition, a place where, honestly, street fights were almost a rite of passage. This is the kind of environment that builds a unique kind of resilience, a toughness you just can't teach in a gym. You have to live it.
And when you look at his foundation, it's just this incredible mix of influences. He grew up in a tiny village called Burshi, started with Taekwondo, then moved to Sanda, which is basically Chinese kickboxing with wrestling mixed in. But the real game changer, the thing that would shape his destiny, was his connection to the Nurmagomedov family. He was a childhood friend of Khabib and was mentored by his legendary father, Abdulmanap, who instilled this deep sense of discipline. He famously told his students, if you don't pray, you have to begin to pray. And get this, his favorite fighters growing up, not just pure technicians, but old-school brawlers like Tank Abbott and Ken Shamrock. What a mix.
So you take all that discipline, all that Dagestani grit, and it didn't take long for it to pay off. This is really when the rest of the world started to sit up and take notice.
And just look at this timeline. It shows you how fast things happen. He turns pro in 2010. By 2014, he's the Russian national combat sambo champion. Now you've got to understand why combat sambo is so important here. It's like the perfect recipe for MMA. It combines judo throws, wrestling, submissions. It's the source of that suffocating chain grappling style he's famous for. A year later, bam, he makes his UFC debut with a dominant submission. Then, in 2016, he goes out and wins the World Combat Sambo Championship just to prove the point. This wasn't just another fighter. This was a world-class martial artist.
But you know, the path to the top is never, ever a straight line. Every single great champion has to face adversity. It's how they handle those tests that really shows you who they are.
And man, this just perfectly shows you the crazy highs and lows of the fight game. In May 2015, he has this picture-perfect debut, looks completely unbeatable. Just 5 months later, he suffers a shocking knockout loss, his first and only defeat as a pro. Now this is the kind of moment that can absolutely break a fighter, but for Islam, it became a crucial lesson. It forced him to tighten up his striking defense and really become the calculated, patient killer we know today.
And the challenges didn't stop in the octagon. In 2016, he faced a suspension after a positive test for meldonium. But the real story here, the takeaway, is about his character. It turned out the substance was a prescribed medication for a heart condition, and he was fully reinstated. He proved his resilience not just by winning fights, but by overcoming adversity with integrity.
After that loss, he never looked back. He just went on an absolute tear, putting together one of the most dominant winning streaks in UFC history. And it all led him to that one moment every fighter dreams of, a shot at the undisputed belt. And wow, what a performance that was. At UFC 280, against the incredibly dangerous Charles Oliveira, he put it all together. First, the striking, a clean, powerful punch that drops Oliveira. Then, the grappling. He's on him in a flash, instantly taking top control. And finally, the finish. He locks in that signature arm triangle choke. It's such a brilliant submission because you're actually using your opponent's own shoulder to help cut off the blood flow. It was a flawless execution to become the undisputed UFC lightweight champion.
But look, winning the belt, that's one thing. Building a legacy, that's something else entirely. After becoming champion, Islam didn't just sit back. He set his sights on all-time greatness. Just let that number sink in for a second. 16. 16 straight wins in the toughest organization in the world. He didn't just win. He reached a level of dominance that puts him in the same breath as absolute legends like Anderson Silva.
And the numbers, well, they just tell this incredible story of what came next. He went on to build his legacy, racking up the most title defenses and the longest win streak in the history of the UFC's Shark Tank, the lightweight division. He even moved up and conquered a second division, becoming a two-weight champ at welterweight. And in the process, he cemented his spot as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter on the entire planet. I mean, the resume, it's just undeniable. So what do you do when you've reached the top of the mountain? When you've conquered it all?
Well, for Islam, it was about returning to his roots and lifting up the people coming up behind him.
See, he's so much more than just a fighter now. He's a mentor, openly inviting any serious athlete to come and test themselves in the mountains of Dagestan. He's a devoted husband and father, a man who's completely grounded in his roots. And most importantly, he's an inspiration. He donated his UFC belt, not to keep for himself, but to a museum where kids from his own community can see it and believe that they can do it too.
And this quote, I think, says it all. It's not about owning the belt. It's about what that belt represents. It's a symbol of hope. It's real, tangible proof that a kid from a remote village can truly become the best in the world.
And that really leaves us with one big question, doesn't it? Is a champion's legacy measured just by wins and titles? Or is it measured by the lives they inspire and the path they clear for others to follow? I think Islam Makhachev's journey shows us the answer is both.